Welcome to Fantasia, home the melodious. My name's Azallea, and today gonna be bringing you guys another playtesting video. Now, the first one of these that I did about a week ago was actually really well received by you guys, and I really appreciate all of the feedback that you guys have given me. So I think I'm gonna continue on with this series and make this a staple on this channel. But this time today, we're gonna actually be working with the Trickstar deck that you guys saw the deck profile of probably a few days ago. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into this. So we're gonna draw our 5 cards here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. And let's just see what we have. Okay, so we have Lilybell actually really sucks to draw into, but we can work around that. Trickstar Light Stage, Brilliant Fusion, Lone Fire Blossom, and Trickstar Candina. Actually, this is a really, really good hand. If you ever see a fusion card, so Instant Fusion, Defusion, or Brilliant Fusion in this case, alongside a Lone Fire Blossom or the Perplant Orphis Scorpio, you're in a very good position to do a multitude of strong plays. So yeah, let's just hop into this play. So first of all, I'm going to use this Lone Fire Blossom. So what you do is you summon your Lone Fire Blossom to any monster zone that you want, and we're going to use its effect to tribute itself off, and we're going to go through our main deck, and we're just going to go through all these Lone Fires. We're going to summon, so you summon another Lone Fire, tribute it off, and then you would summon out your other Lone Fire Blossom. This just thins out the deck for you so that it's a very great way to increase the consistency of your future turns, so you're not drawing into any dead cards. So you summon the other Lone Fire Blossom, you tribute it off, and now you're going to summon the Perplant Orphis Scorpio. Now when you summon your Perplant Orphis Scorpio, what you need to do is actually activate its effect, which requires you to discard a monster card. So we're actually going to discard this Trickstar Lilybell, because she's kind of useless in the hand right now, and we want to save our normal summon for the Candina, or our extra normal summon, because we used our first normal summon on the Lone Fire Blossom. Now what you want to do is use your Orphis Scorpio's effect to summon out this card right here, the Predaplant Darlingtonia Cobra. Now Darlingtonia Cobra, when you summon this card, allows you to add a fusion card from your deck to your hand. So looking at our hand right here, we already have a copy of Brilliant Fusion, so we don't need this. So you actually have 2 options at this point. You can go for the Defusion, or you can go for the Instant Fusion. So here we have the Instant Fusion, and we also have a copy of Defusion in the deck as well. I guess for this combo, we're just going to go with the Defusion. I'll show you how this works, and I guess we'll play again with this with the same hand, and I'll show you how the Instant Fusion route goes, because they're really, really different. So for this route, I'm just going to add the Defusion from my deck to my hand, and then we'll again just play again with this hand in just a bit, and then I'll show you how the Instant Fusion would work in this case. So once we have our 2 Predaplant monsters on the field, what you want to do is just overlay these, and you want to go for your MX Saber Invoker. Invoker is just a very strong card in this deck, because it allows you to go for the Mrs. Radiant, which is very nice. So 2 level 3s, go for the MX Saber Invoker. Now with your Invoker, you're going to detach one of the materials from it. Doesn't matter which one, because everything's going to be sent to the graveyard in just a bit. And what you're going to summon from your deck is you're going to summon your Hero Challenger Thousand Blades. Now Thousand Blades is a Warrior Earth monster, so Invoker can of course summon it from your deck. And then what you need to do is you actually need to link summon with both of these, because they're both Earth monsters, as you can see, MX Saber Invoker and the Hero Challenger Thousand Blades. And now you can actually summon your Mrs. Radiant from your extra deck. Now we're just going to put it over here. I typically like to play on the right side, but sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, it doesn't really matter, so we're just going to summon the Mrs. Radiant there. Just going to organize my cards. And now, what you do is you have bottom left, which is this zone, and the bottom right, which is that zone, that are open for extra deck monsters. So we can actually summon some more stuff there, and that's where your Brilliant Fusion comes into play. So we're just going to activate the Brilliant Fusion right here, and we're going to send, so because we actually have the Defusion in our hand, it's very important that you send these specific targets. So what you want to do is you want to find your Gem Knight, of course. You're going to send your Gem Knight to the graveyard to summon your Gem Knight Seraphonite. And then now you need your light target. So your light target in this case is definitely going to be Archlord Christia, and you'll see why in just a bit if you haven't caught onto it already. Now when you summon, send these to the graveyard, you can actually summon your Gem Knight Seraphonite. I believe it's on the top. There we go. You summon your Gem Knight Seraphonite to your right zone right here. Now the reason why you summon, I just like to summon Seraphonite to the side zones right there, because of the fact that if you summon like Proxy Dragon or anything with left and right links, you want to summon it in the middle. So you don't want to obstruct that zone. In this case, it doesn't really matter too much, but just get used to not obstructing your middle zone just in case you want to go for those plays. Now with the Seraphonite, it actually grants you an additional normal summon for this turn, which is going to be very good. So now you have this Trickstar Candina that you can just normal summon. So we're just going to normal summon her right here. And now we're going to activate Trickstar Candina's effect. Now we already have a copy of Light Stage, so we don't need that. In this case, I'm probably going to just search for a trap card, so Trickstar Reincarnation, which is proxied by this right here. So for me, I'm just going to search out a copy of that. Just add it to my hand. Okay, so now what we have here is the Light Stage, we have the Reincarnation, and we have our Defusion. And we have our Candina on the field, and we've already used the second summon for our Seraphonite, which is really good. So now what I want to do here is actually activate the Trickstar Light Stage. So just going to do that. I'm going to activate the Trickstar Light Stage, and when Trickstar Light Stage is activated, I can add one Trickstar monster from my deck to my hand, which is going to be good. I'm actually going to add the Trickstar Lycoris. Now, Lycoris is going to be great because it can help bounce my Candina from my field back to my hand, so I can save her for a later turn. And every time our opponent draws or adds a card from the deck to their hand, they get burned for 200 damage from the Lycoris and an additional 200 from the Light Stage. So that's always going to be very nice. So now what I want to do is actually use the Lycoris's effect, targeting the Candina, return the Candina to my hand, to summon the Lycoris to my side of the field. I actually summon her in attack position, because, yeah, why not? Summoning her in attack position is not that bad, because she has 1600 attack, which is going to be a little bit more difficult for your opponent to run over than the 1200 defense. Now I'm going to take the Trickstar Reincarnation, I'm just going to set it to one of my zones, because I don't really need that anymore. And then what you can do here is you can actually do this on your turn or your opponent's turn. So it's up to you and what your opponent's playing. If they're playing a lot of decks where they just go ahead and special summon stuff out of their hand, without, you know, polymerization or tuners, synchros, and things like that, then you definitely want to do this on your turn. If you want to disrupt your opponent and just have them commit to a field before you summon your Christia, that's fine. You can just set this to your other spawn trap zone right here. Now, of course, you have this Candida in your hand saved for next turn, and that's going to be completely fine. Now, what the Defusion does in this case is, either on your turn or your opponent's turn, you would activate your Defusion, and then you would target your Seraphonite, and return it back to your extra deck. Now what you would do is summon your Archlord Christia and your Geminite Lazuli that were used as material to your side of the field. Now you can summon Lazuli in attack position if you want. She does get the boost from Mrs. Radiant, so she would be at 1100 attack, which is not too bad in and of itself. But again, I'm just going to leave that up to you. But now what you have on your side of the field is you have Lycoris, which is burning your opponent, along with Light Stage for every time they draw or add a card. You have this Reincarnations that's going to help you burn your opponent for some more while disrupting their hand, which is going to be good. And now you also have your Archlord Christia sitting on the field, preventing your opponent from special summoning cards. And that's the biggest lockdown part of this deck. So if your opponent's playing Spirals or anything like that, they don't have that board wipe, they don't have the Raigeki, they don't have the Dark Hole, they can't clear your field. Even if your opponent's playing Kaijus, they can't special summon the Kaiju and tribute your Christia, because Christia prevents that special summon to begin with. So absolutely fantastic board, and I think we did a pretty good job with what we had. Okay, so again, we're just going to go and reset this, and I'll come back with the same hand, and we'll see what goes on if we searched out the Instant Fusion instead of the Defusion. Alright guys, welcome back. So again, we're going to start off with the same cards that we did in the last combo that you guys just saw. And this time, instead of going for the Defusion and going for the Christia play, we're going to go for the Instant Fusion play, and I'll show you how that works out in this one here. So again, we're starting off with the same cards. We have a Trickstar Lilybell, Trickstar Light Stage, Brilliant Fusion, Lone Fire Blossom, and Trickstar Candina. Again, a very, very decent hand that allows you to go for several different routes. So we're going to start off the same way that we did in the last one, where we're just going to normal summon the Lone Fire Blossom, and now you're going to tribute the Lone Fire Blossom, by activating its effect, to summon other plant-type monsters from your deck. In this case, we're going to summon more copies of Lone Fire Blossom to thin out the deck. Again, just so any subsequent turns, we're going to activate Lone Fire again. Any subsequent turns when you draw into your deck, you're going to have a greater chance of drawing what you need to, and not, you know, a dead copy of Lone Fire or anything like that. So we're just basically thinning out the deck. Summon your third Lone Fire, and then you'll activate its effect, and then you'll summon the Orifice Scorpio out from your deck. Now, when you summon the Orifice Scorpio, what you want to do is activate its effect. You have to pay a cost, which is discarding one monster card from your hand to the graveyard. We're just going to discard the Trickstar Lilybell, because Lilybell, unfortunately, is just dead in our hand right now. She's way better off in the deck for you to search out. And we're going to summon, oh, there it is, the Darlingtonia Cobra, straight from our main deck. Now, when Cobra is summoned, I don't actually need to put my deck down. When Cobra is summoned, see how we have the Brilliant Fusion in our hand? Last time we searched out for the Defusion, but this time we're actually going to search out the Instant Fusion, and this combo is actually really great. It results in a very powerful field. So if you don't want to lock your opponent out with Christia, you could definitely go for this. We're going to search out the Instant Fusion with our Darlingtonia Cobra. And now what we're going to do is going to go for the standard Predaplant play here. We're going to overlay both of these monsters right there for our MX Saber Invoker. And now MX Saber Invoker, once you summon that, you can actually detach one of the materials, doesn't matter which one, because everything's going to be sent to the graveyard. And you're going to summon your Heroic Challenger Thousand Blades from your deck. Now, Heroic Challenger Thousand Blades, there we go, is an Earth Warrior type monster, so you can summon it out. And because it's an Earth monster, you can actually use both of these monsters here, 2 Earths, to go for a Link Summon. And we're going to Link Summon into our Mrs. Radiant, which is right up there. This is a pretty standard combo for a lot of rogue decks that run the Predaplant engine, actually. So, you know, Light Sworns and things like that also play this. Now, Mrs. Radiant opens up these 2 zones, which is going to be very good, because we have our Brilliant Fusion right here. Now, we're going to activate our Brilliant Fusion immediately. And last time we sent our Gem Knight monster and our Arc Lord Christia. We're not going to summon Christia, so we're not going to send Christia this time. And we're just going to send our Performance Trick Clown and my Gem Knight Lazuli. So your Gem Knight for your Gem Knight summon, and then your Perform Mage for your light target. We're just going to summon, there we go, the Gem Knight Seraphinite, and I'm going to summon her into this right zone right here. I like summoning my Gem Knight Seraphinite into this zone because, again, you want to leave this middle zone clear in case you're ever going to go for a Proxy Dragon or anything with a left or right link. You definitely don't want to summon your left and right link monster here. You're going to lose value from your link markers, right? So once you send this, the Trick Clown can activate in your graveyard. And it's going to special summon itself back from the graveyard, and it's going to deal 1,000 damage to you. Once it deals 1,000 damage to you, your Heroic Challenger Thousand Blades triggers in the graveyard, and you can special summon that to your side of the field too, in attack position. So now, again, you can easily go for a rank 4 monster right now if you really wanted to, but we're going to hold off for that because we have to use our Instant Fusion right here. So what we're going to do first, though, before we use that, is normal summon our Trickstar Candina. Now, when we normal summon the Candina, we can go for a search. You can go for a Lycoris, but for me, I'm going to go for a Trickstar Reincarnation, which is I'm proxying right here because I don't have a copy of. So I'm going for the Trickstar Reincarnation because it's just an additional layer of disruption to the opponent, especially as their hand. And the hand's a very sacred place for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, so that's why they definitely want that. And also, if you don't have like a Trickstar Light Stage in this combo and you search out the Reincarnation, you can actually still proc your Zolkin, which we're going to summon in just a bit. So we're going to use our Instant Fusion now. In Instant Fusion, we pay another 1,000 life points, and we can summon our Sea Monster of Theseus from our extra deck, which is a level 5 tuner monster. So when we summon that to our side of the field, what we can actually do now is synchro summon with both of these, with the Seraphinite and the Theseus. As long as they're the same level, 5 or higher, you can actually summon your Ultimaya Zolkin. And we're going to summon our Ultimaya Zolkin in the middle right here. So now when you summon your Zolkin, what you do is you can actually set your Reincarnation, and that's going to be fine. Or because we have the light stage, you can do that as well. But if you didn't have the light stage, again, you can just set your Reincarnation, and what it'll do is it'll proc the Ultimaya Zolkin's effect, and now your Zolkin can easily summon the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon out from your extra deck, and that's going to be a phenomenal card to negate any of your opponent's monster effects that activate. You know, hand traps, anything of that sort. They're major plays. You can disrupt. And that's the key thing. Now, what happens here is that Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon's a wind attribute monster, and Mrs. Radiant actually decreases the attack and defense values of wind attribute monsters by 400. So we want to get rid of this Mrs. Radiant now. That's our top priority. So what we're going to do is actually link summon with our Ultima Zulkin and our Mrs. Radiant, and go for a more defensive card, and actually a very good offensive card as well. We're going to go for a Decode Talker. Now, Decode Talker, of course, gains 500 attack for every card that this card points to. So it's pointing to a Crystal Ring right now, so it's at 2,800, which is not too bad. And it also, again, opens up this zone right here because we got rid of our Zulkin. So what we can do is actually overlay our Trick Clown and our Thousand Blades, and go for another XYZ. Now, the defensive one that I play in this deck is going to be Tornado Dragon. If you play Baguska, if you play Abyss Dweller, whatever, you can summon those cards as well. But for me, I'm just going to summon the Tornado Dragon here. And that's all the more reason to get rid of that Mrs. Radiant right here, because again, Tornado Dragon's a wind attribute monster, so it would decrease the attack value of Tornado Dragon and make it easier for your opponent to just attack over. And that's not really what we want. Now, the last card that we had in our hand for this combo is Light Stage. So we're going to activate the Light Stage right here, and we're going to use its effect to search. And we're just going to add a copy of Trickstar Lycoris from our deck to our hand. Now, Lycoris is very good in this case because you're going to use its effect, and you're going to bounce back the Trickstar Candina to summon the Lycoris to your side of the field. It doesn't really matter where you summon it to. The important thing is that Candina is now in your hand, so next turn you have plays. You can normal summon it, you can search, and you can keep going from there. And what we have is, if you have a Lycoris on the field and now you have your Trickstar Reincarnation here, you can actually burn your opponent for a lot of damage while disrupting their hand. You also have Tornado Dragon here to disrupt any field spells and basically just any back row in general, and you can disrupt their monster effects with your Crystal Wing, and that's also very powerful. Now, the reason why you summon your Tornado Dragon under Decode Talker like this is when Decode Talker protects things from targeting, you don't want to tribute off your Crystal Wing. You want to tribute off your Tornado Dragon. So again, after you use your Tornado Dragon's effect and you feel like you got your value out of it, when you tribute off this Tornado Dragon, right, you're sending the Trick Clown, the Thousand Blades, to the graveyard. When they touch the graveyard, Trick Clown is going to activate and it's going to summon back to your side of the field by, inflicting 1,000 damage to you, which then triggers your Thousand Blades, and you can summon it back here into the zone of your Decode Talker, into the link marker. Now, Decode Talker will go back up to, I believe it's going to be 3,300 attack because it has 2 monsters in its link marker, so it boosts by 1,000. So Decode Talker gets buff again, and you're going to have a big monster alongside Crystal Wing that can help attack over your opponent's stuff. And also, if none of these cards get destroyed, and it doesn't matter if they do anyway, if one of these gets destroyed, you still have a Candina in your hand for next turn. That's a level 4 monster. Again, you can just overlay and go for another rank 4 monster the following turn. But yeah, so that's why definitely very good to summon something under Decode Talker so that it can tribute it off, essentially. So yeah, anyway, that does it for this combo. 2 different ways to play the same hand, and both of them end up with extraordinary fields. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Trickstar content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.